Hello there everyone, welcome back to another video about the One Piece card game. It is June, which means it is ramping up to OP07. I still do not have EP01 in the UK. Yay! Should be coming this week, so you can look forward to a stream where all of that will be coming. This video is currently live on Patreon, so to my patrons who are seeing this, thank you very much for your support. I do appreciate it. It'll be going up on YouTube in a few weeks. I want to let you know, patrons, if you're seeing this, I have decided the two Patreon videos, or at least one Patreon video, most likely two though, I don't think there will be a Star Wars video this month, that will be going up, the in-depth guides, and they are going to be for, unsurprisingly, RP lore, and I'm also going to do Lucci, surprising no one. Man who likes black deck makes black video. Wah! Anyway, those are going to be the in-depth guides you can find on my Patreon this month of June. If you're interested, it's a $5 a month. I think it's really, really worth it. So please do go and check it out, and I really do appreciate the support. Let's go ahead and get started with this video. I've noticed, you know, the more and more I do these, I think I just need to make these two-parters. I don't think people want to watch like all these different videos. I thought before, I mean, give me feedback, right? So what I did with, and if you skip past this, fair enough. But I would really appreciate feedback. If you watched my OP06 guides, I tried to split that by deck, and that didn't do like significantly better, and it was kind of a lot more work than just going by color. So now I'm just going to try and two-parter it and just like do half the set in one part, half the set in the other, just going by color. And let me know if you guys like that more, if it's better. Let's go ahead and get started. So I'm going to be starting with the leader dragon here. So this is 5 life red leader, revolutionary army, traded, activate main once per turn, give up a total of 2 of your currently attached Don to one of your characters. So this is kind of like Luffy, but obviously very different. You have to attach Dons here to start slinging them around, but you do get to like get double value out of them. The synergy here is really obvious, because all these Rev armies are like Don 2, are like 7k power or more, not Don 2, 7k power. So they synergize with Bella Betty, but now they also synergize with Dragon. I think this is fine in a meta where you need 5 life, but we don't really have that many Don 2 synergistic units yet. So maybe this will be good in the future, but my inclination is this is bad and it's going to stay bad. Ein, this is a 7/6. Add in OP07. You can maybe play it in lore. The problem is it's a 7/6, so its stats aren't amazing. It sets one thing to 0, which is good, but like it's kind of competing with Space for Ace, which gives 2 things minus 3k, and with lore you're hitting 6ks. So like yes, this is useful when you're targeting stuff that's 7k or greater, but honestly, like I just don't know that it's really worth it. Did see some experimentation. I do think this has a lot more potential than OP08 because of cards like Black Maria letting you hit those high Don counts way easier. So yeah, it's fine. It's an option to bear in mind. Outlook 3, this is Goa Kingdom traded, another fucking red deck archetype. 2-drop, 1k counter, activate main, you may place this card in the trash, give up to 2 of your opponent's characters, minus 2000 power for the turn. So I think this has potential. If it was a 2k counter, I think it actually probably would see play. But as the RP lore. Then we got Dadan. This they want to play it. So 2/3, you discard a card from your hand, look at the top 5 and add a character with 2000 power or less to your hand. The issue is this doesn't actually hit a lot of searches. It hits some, but doesn't hit all of them. No, once I buggy it won't hit that. This is a decent card. It's not a plus, strictly speaking, because like you are playing this body down, but obviously the fact you're finding something that can potentially be quite good is obviously like worth bearing in mind. I've mainly seen this just it's a Bonnie searcher, right? Like it searches Bonnie and Red Green Lore. Then we have got Karina. She's a 3-drop, a blocker on play, give up to one of your opponent's characters minus 2k power for the turn. I think this is actually quite good. The problem is I have to compare it to Chopper, and Chopper has better stats. Is also a blocker, also can give the minus 2k, but does it on attack. But that means Chopper's like more repeatable. So this is more like immediate value, whereas Chopper like can potentially snowball, and Chopper actually has like 4k power. So I think they both serve their place. Obviously, if you're a certain type of One Piece card game player, you'll prefer this. Anyway, Then we've got Steri. 1 drop on play. You may give one of your active leaders minus 5k power during this turn. Draw 1 and trash 1 from your hand. So you can play this in VV. I guess it's so shit. Dice a 4/6, whatever. Tanaka-san, this is a 3/3 blocker with a trigger to play this card. I think this does see play in Bello Betty, and that's about it. Then we got Dogura and Magura. So the gang stars are here. On play, give up to 1 of your red 1-cost characters double attack during this turn. I'm sure there will be a really funny Mountain Bandit Hyper Rush deck, like a Hyper Rush Zoro deck that comes out, like, that becomes playable in, like, the next few sets. They keep giving bandits cards, so eventually it'll happen. Then we got Baccarat. This is a 3/4 blocker. On opponent's attack once per turn, you may trash 1 card from your hand, give up to 1 of your leader or characters plus 2k during this turn. So once per turn, you just get to turn a card in your hand into a 2k counter. It's not bad. It is a 3/4. Wish it was a 3/5. Might be too good. It does have a counter. I think, you know, as far as film cards go, this is one of your better ones. Then we got Blue Jam. This is 4/5. Don 1 when attacking. Care up to 1 of your opponent's characters with 2000 power or less. It's fine. Poroshumi. Up to 1 of your opponent's characters gains minus 1k on play. This is bad. Mask Juice. This is great. This is a top 5 Ace Searcher. It's buggy with counter for Ace. So you now get 8 buggies in that deck. So like, Ace is obviously very happy to see this. For some reason, this didn't get an alt-art. Kind of wish it did. Moda. This is a 1-drop 2k. On play, give up to 1 of your ace plus 2000 power for the turn. So again, this is interestingly Lucia Kingdom traded. Interesting. Anyway, this is potentially playable, unlikely to be playable, but potentially playable. It's a 2k counter that you can, like, that is like Don efficient, right? Like you just start playing it out of your hand and you can make your leader like really swing big. So it's cool. Whenever Ace gets the ability to restand, ideally on a 3-cost event, we might be cooking. But yeah, it's decent. Time for the the only definitively good card so far, and that's Dragon. It's an 8/9 rush on play. Give up your leader up to 1 of your characters 2 rested Dons. So, you know, he's an 11k rusher. That for 8, that's very good. Shocker. This is one of the best rush cards in the game in terms of like how big it's hitting for its cost. I think this is a card you're always going to want to bear in mind as an option. Will you always play it? No, but it's not bad. Then we've got Galaxy Wink here. This is a main Revolutionary Army event. Costs 1. Give up to 1 of your Revolutionary Army plus 2k, and then give up to 1 of your opponent's characters minus 1k for the turn. And the trigger activates this card's main. I think if this was generic, it might actually see play, but because it's Rev Army traded and Rev Army is not very good, I mean, you'll play it in Rev Army, right? But like outside of that, whatever. Then we've got Dragon's Breath. Care up to 1 of your opponent's characters with 3000 power or less, and up to 1 stage with cost 1 or less, and the trigger activates this card's main. I think this might replace Fire Fist in exactly Marco, if Fire Fist sees play in Marco. that in OP08. That's it. Alright, like, this is a good card. This is definitely a good card. Obviously, you need to be having power manipulation for this to do anything, which is why something like Marco it might actually see play. And there needs to be a meta where there's lots of stages, right? So if this was stage stacker meta, you'd be playing this, right? For example. The problem is 1-cost stages, so they just print stages that aren't 1-cost, right? All the good stages right now, like Onigashima, like the CP, Eni's Lobby, they're not, so worth bearing in mind. And finally, we've got Keep Out here for red. 1 of your Revolutionary Army characters gains 2k until the end of your turn, and the trigger activates the counter, so it does last for the turn. It's only characters, and it's Revolutionary Army restricted, so bad. Okay, on to green, and so you'll be... overall review on red. Holy shit, this color is dire. Like, I remember when I first saw all these, and I was like, dude, like, red has got 1 card. 1 actually good card. 2, I guess, including Master Juice, but Ace is not a very great deck right now. But yeah, like, literally 1 really good card. And then the rest are just, like, a couple playables, and then, like, a lot of bad. Really rough. Okay. Bonnie, this is on opponent's attack, pay 1, rest up to 1 of your opponent's leaders or characters. So this is a very powerful tool in theory. In practice, it's a little bit harder to use because obviously you want to be playing on curve where you can, because that's where you're getting the most powerful characters, but you need to leave Don up potentially to actually get value out of Bonnie. So it's a little awkward, but obviously this is extremely powerful. And like, as long as you're able to like play with this ability in mind, you can really do some insane stuff. Really powerful control deck. Very, very good leader ability. Aladdin, this is a 5/6 blocker on KO. If your leader's Fishman, play a 3-cost or lower Fishman or Mermaid from your hand. Obviously, this is a pretty good card, but who the fuck is playing Fishman right now? Then we got Rose. This is a 4/5 blocker. End of turn, set up to one of your Don cards is active. So this is an example of the card you'd want, right? You can play this on curve. It untaps a Don, so you get to use your Bonnie ability. I wish this was a 4/6, because that really seems to be the rate we kind of need on 4-cost blockers. A 4/5 is, you know, fine. Yeah, not pushed, just good. We got Otama. This is a top... sorry, it's in Japanese. There's a top 5 searcher for 1-0 on play, but also a 2k counter. This card's cracked, fucking obviously. Insanely good. And we'll talk about... the new play that basically arises as a result of Otama is with Otama plus Hiyori from EV, you can now go back to OP01, dig out all your commons, get 4 copies of I'll Be Your Samurai, or Be My Samurai, whatever it's called. And now you play Otama, play out Hiyori, tap them both, draw 2, then like use Hiyori, play out a Momo, jam the Otama into life. That's your Yamato like insane combo. Or you just use in like Perona, you use Hiyori to just draw and play out like a the 4610 popper dude. I forgot the name of. These cards are only gonna get better as the game goes on, as they get better options. Right now it's highly restrictive, so it's a combo just worth owning. Like it will be cheap to own these cards, so just own them. Caribou, this is a 4/5. If you have 6 or more rested Don, this character gains 1k and blocker. Now, this is what we're talking about. Weirdly, this is a better blocker. And all they needed to do was take that line of text and just put it on Eroge. And I would have been like, wow, Eroge is really, really strong. Yeah, obviously it's a 4/6. The problem is it's just going to get popped. And obviously the same goes for Eroge, but at least you get immediate value out of Eroge. Koala is a 3-drop on opponent's attack. You may rest this card, give it to one of your characters, cost 5 or less, and Fishman a blocker for the turn. So, okay, sure, shit card, obviously. I mean, potentially a combo later, but like right now, shit. 3/3 on play up to 1. It costs 4 or lower. Caribou from your hand rested. I hate these combo cards because until we reach the point where like you're basically able to search your deck for exactly what you need like every single turn, these cards are always going to be terrible because you need to have both pieces. And unless like playing out the other is so broken that it's like worth the fact that you need to specifically see both, it's just not going to happen. Okay. Here's an actively broken card. Bonnie, 5/6. Supernova and Bonnie Pirates traded, so, you know, Law and Bonnie get to play this. On play, up to one of your opponent's rested characters or Don do not become active during the next refresh phase. This is, in all decks besides Law, insanely skill-based, like when you want to use this, what you want to use. Very, very powerful. The fact you get to shut off your opponent's like best play, like when they need it. The fact that you can like basically, if you're really good at the game, you can decide exactly what it is that they need to do to win the game and just turn it off. In RG law, if you're ever able to like really get cooking, you can like play 2 or 3 Bonnies in a single turn and it's just toxic. But yeah, anyway, card's insane, super good, like yeah, busted. Vanilla. Hawkins is another very good card. 6/7, if your leader has Supernova, it gains blocker, and then once per turn, if this character were to be removed from play by one of your opponent's effects, you may rest up to one of your opponent's characters instead. So, a lot of people said, reacted like this was insanely broken when it was first revealed. It's very good. Worth bearing in mind that, firstly, you can just attack over it. Like, if they block with it, it does die. Secondly, if your whole board is rested, this does nothing, right? So if you just go swing with my 1k, swing with my little 1-drop, swing my 1-drop, now all my board is tapped down, hard remove, it just goes, right? So very, very possible to play around. You know, don't overthink it. It's a good card, but it's very like easy to deal with if your deck is like playing removal. And if your deck's not playing removal, then okay, it's a 6/7 blocker, fine. Then we've got Papag, shit, 2k counter at least. Then we got Bartolomeo. There's a 3/4 blocker. Once per turn, if a character is rested from your own effects, draw 1 and discard 1 on your turn. It is fine. Obviously, like synergizes with like Bonnie Searcher, so you are like filtering. It's fine. Fisher Tiger. There's a 5/6. This character can attack the opponent's character on the turn it's played. On play, if your leader is Fishman or Merfolk, rest up to one of your opponent's cost 6 or lower characters. So this is a bomb. This is actually like a really good card on curve in Fishman. And when that deck becomes good, this will probably see play in it. Luffy, this is a 5/6. If you have 3 or more characters, your cost 3 or lower characters other than Monkey D. Luffy cannot be KO'd by your opponent's effects. So this is extremely good into exactly black. and only black, like not blue-black. This is a card that, like, in a meta where you're able to just, like, basically you just pass turn until you can slam this down. They actually can't hard remove it. So you just don't attack with it. You leave it there. Your board is now protected, and you just chef, and you start, like, throwing out a whole board. How viable is that strategy? Remains to be seen, but this is a very important card in actually making, like red-green lore able to, like, do something into, like, a black meta. Yeah, this is very good for that reason, but it's terrible into, like, Sakazuki, right, because you just bot deck it. Then we've got Rona Azora. This is a 1/2 Supernova, which, when attacking, if you've got 3 or more characters, it gains 2k, so it's, you know, 1 Don swing for 5k. Pretty good. Supernova traded. It's green 1-drop you actually want to play, so yeah, good card. Then we have got Karma Exposure. Counter, give up to one of your leader characters 2k, then if you have 3 or more characters, it gains an additional 1k, and the trigger pops a 4. So this is, like, another one of that sort of style of, like, oh, it's kind of like Rad Beam. My inclination is that this is worse than Rad Beam on account of the fact you need to have a board, and we have been in a removal format since OP07, so yeah. Then we have got Demonic Aura 9 Sword Style Arcer, 9 Demon 9 Flash. This card's pretty good. Up to one of your leader or characters gains 3k, then you may rest one of your cost 3 or greater to rest one of your opponent's cost 5 or less. So this deals with almost every blocker. It buffs by 3k, it only costs 2, so the idea is that you just, like, in a turn when your opponent is relying on their blockers to get them through, you just get, like, you know, if you just hold 2 of these in hand, you go tap tap, buff, swing, GG, right? Like, that's the idea. It's good, and you play it in the relevant decks, right? And then we got a top 5 Supernova Searcher. The trigger to draw, obvious 4 of is obvious. On to blue, the final part of this video. We're really blazing through. I might manage to make actually decent time in this. Okay, Hancock. So, your turn, once per turn, you may activate this when a character leaves play from one of your abilities. If you have 5 or less cards in hand, draw 1. Like the wording on that, because it means if it doesn't need to be the first time, it just needs to be a time. You will always be at 6 cards in hand, basically, with this deck. That's the idea. You're pretty much always on 6. It makes all your removal feel way better, because now instead of losing cards from hand, you're making your opponent go -1, and you're not losing anything, buying time to get to the late game, and then you just start slamming bomb after bomb after bomb. The deck is fun, and the deck is good. Weevil. Unrelated. This is a 4/5. Stack the top 3. This card's bad, and in light of some of these new starter deck Doffy reveals we've been seeing, we'll definitely never see play. Croc. This card is good. 2k counter. 4/5. On play. Pay 1. Return up to 1. Cost 2 auto character to the owner's hand. Usually this is just going to get used bouncing your own stuff to recur your searches. So, like, you know, potentially you want to get that value. Worth saying, right? This bounces a 2 cost. This says when a character leaves play, so it can be your own. So what this is going to do is if you play this, if it's your 5th card in hand, you play it down, you use the ability, you return the 2 cost to your hand, you have 5 cards in hand, you get to draw, and then you can play your top searcher again. So this is, in the context of the Hancock deck, this is cost 1, draw 1, right? Which is good. I would pay 1 to draw 1. And that's 2k counter, obviously. Top 5 searcher for Amazon Lily and Kuja Pirates, so obviously staple in that deck. Gecko Moria, this is a 5/6. Once per turn, if your leader has 7 Warlords, when this character would leave play by your opponent's effect, instead you may place one of your characters other than Gecko Moria on the bottom of your deck. It's a 5/6. It's okay. I don't know that it will see play necessarily, but the fact it just hangs around is obviously quite good. Salome, this is terrible. I mean, okay, it's Don efficient, right? Like, obviously, but if it's not a 2k counter, I'm not really interested in playing a card like this. Worth saying, it has synergy with the 6-drop Hancock. You can bot deck it to draw a card, and buff your leader. Like, so you can play this, buff your leader, play the Hancock, bot deck it, draw a card to replace it. It doesn't feel awful. Stun something, it's fine, whatever. We got an 8/10 Mihawk here that says on play draw. Cards like this really need to read like draw 2 to be good. Jinbei, this card's broken. This card's unbelievably broken. 4/5, on play, play a 7 drop. Play a 7 Warlords 4-drop. It's fucking crazy. This card is one of the cards that's going to send Doffy into overdrive, and it's obviously very, very good in Hancock if you're playing enough of those. Shichibukai. Top 5 searcher for Shichibukai. Good. Very, very good. Rip the Saka deck that never got to exist, abusing Hancock and Moria with Sengoku. Then we've got a 2k counter here, Law, 4/4, activate main, you may return this character to its hand. If your opponent has 6 or more cards in their hand, they place one card from their hand on the bottom of their deck. So the idea here is you play this down, you bounce it, your opponent loses a card, and you get to draw a card, right? Obviously, also good in Doffy because you play it out. It's a 2k counter, so you just add it to your hand because you know it's just going to get like KO'd attacked into by your opponent, and your opponent has to discard one. So you know it's a good card. It's a good card, and definitely you know as far as 2k counters for 7 Warlords go, we were starving, so this is obviously very nice to have. New 3/4 Doflamingo. Activate main once per turn. Pay 2. Reveal 1 card from the top of your deck. If that card is a 7 Warlords with a cost of 4 or less, you may play it rested and then place the remaining cards on the bottom of your deck. This is a card I think we're going to have to keep an eye out on, right? Like, yes, it's a 3/4, which itself is kind of bad, but it just sits there, right? Like, if it just sits there and then every single turn, if you stack your deck, you can just go, yep, play something, yep, play something, yep, play something, and you're playing them for 2. Like, that's really good, guys. That's really, really good. So, you know, and it's a 3/4. It is just outside RP law range, so they need to use a power reduction effect on it. It is 3, so it is just outside, like, easy range for, like, Moria to deal with, right? Like, so, you know, I'm just saying, like, maybe it's not good now, but, like, when these starter decks come out post OP08, I'm just saying, keep it in mind. Then we have got Buckin. On play, a Weevil. Funny, but no. Boa Sandersonia on play. If you have 2 or more characters in play with Amazon Lily, and you bounce 3, 2k counter, fine. It's searchable 2k. That's about it. Holy Boa, yes. This card is so good. 6/8. On play, up to one of your opponent's characters other than Monkey D. Luffy cannot attack. Then place up to 1 cost 1 or less character on the bottom of its opponent's deck. This card's amazing. This card's insane. Play it in all blue decks. 4 of. Staple. So good. So good. So good. So good. If Sakazuki had this card, oh my god. Anyway. I skipped Marigold. To 5/6, 1k counter on play. If you have 2 or more characters in play with Amazon Lily, bad. Portugal's D-Ace, 5/6, blocker. Sabo effect without the good part. Fucking okay, I guess. Seems pretty bad in my opinion. Good card. Margaret, blocker. 3/2 on play. Draw. Searchable. And Nami card. Yay! Nami gets a tool. Yay! This card's good. You play it. On to the events. We're almost there. We've got Snake Dance, counter, give up to one of your leader characters plus 4. There's a 2-cost event. Then bounce one of your characters, and the trigger is to return one of your characters' owner's hand to return up to one of your opponent's cost 5 or lower characters to its owner's hand. I think this is quite a good Nami card, just because you are going to be able to like add back your add back stuff, and like this is probably just functionally better than Overheat, just because the trigger like could actually come up as being quite decent. Slave Arrow. 1 drop, you cost 1. You may return one of your characters with the cost of 2 or higher to its owner's hand. Give up to one of your leader characters plus 4k during this battle. Trigger, draw 2, and place 2 cards from your hand at the bottom of your deck. It's fine. If it was draw 2, discard 2 on the other hand. Ooh, Nami! Yeah. Here's a really good one though. This is just Diablo Jambe. It costs 2, but it buffs by 2k, and the trigger draws. Fucking holy shit. 4 of in every deck that can play it. 4 of, oh my god. So good, and it's searchable, like super searchable. And finally, we end on a bad card. I love women. I don't hate women. This card's just bad. Activate main. You may discard 1 card from your hand and rest the stage. If your leader is Kuja Pirates, return up to 1 character card with type Kuja Pirates or Amazon Lily to its owner's hand. So the idea is you discard this to get a card. You get a card back, and then you get to draw. Whoa! It's like it says draw 1, except you're losing board presence. Occasionally could come up. I don't like it. And that's it. That's it for part 1 of 2 of this video. Unless I missed secret rare, but I don't think I have because they're yellow and black, so the secret rares will be next time. I hope you guys found this useful. If you did, like the video, subscribe to the channel. Deck profiles and all that sort of stuff will be coming out. Of course, if you are supporting me on Patreon, thank you so much. Hope you guys enjoy having this early. Hope you're looking forward to that in-depth guides coming in the next few weeks. And thank you once again, and I hope to see you guys in the next video. Cheers.